Welcome to Fact or Freestyle.
People love Dave Nourie, and they always answer the phone when he calls. When we get him on Zoom, we ask him to confirm rumors.
Let's see how far down the rabbit hole we go.
Where am I?
You are
McGraw?
on Zoom. You're at the Tinted Dome.
You're in Gumby Land. This is Gumby Land.
Okay, Joe, you scare me.
No, but you got to understand, James, that's why I'm here, because I'm here to keep him in check.
Nobody
we've
keeps
determined
Joe
this.
in check. People have tried to keep him in check, and it
No.
absolutely fails.
I've done pretty good so far, James.
All right, well, that's good. What's going on, bud? Good to see you.
Yeah. Dave and I have been having these conversations. When we go to contests, we hear all these awesome stories. We hear all these background. We hear this like rumors, and some of it's bullshit and some of it's true. You don't have that now.
We should ask James the three questions. You've been around the block, so you know these stories, and you can validate them or not. And so there's three that we're just come across. So the first one.
Fact or Freestyle, the Jose Vendetta.
Like, people know that Ron Wilkerson rolled a van in Dothan, Alabama. Like, that's kind of true.
Those stories are legendary.
Yeah, so that's
your
a fact.
guys in France.
So here's one that Joe came across. So apparently, Brian Blyther was the first person to do a flatland tail whip, okay? He did it, and he did it on a half pipe on the flat surface, and he got in the magazine. Now, Jose Yanez says that it was him that did it first, but that Brian got it in the magazine. So then Jose—
You're talking like a foot jam tail whip, right?
Yeah, foot jam
tail
on
whip.
a flat
Yeah.
surface. And we know that Mike Dominguez did a fly out, prior to that, out of the Combi Bowl. But we're talking about a flatland tail whip. Okay, so the rumor is that Jose got upset about that, and he practiced to learn a trick that Brian couldn't do, which was the backflip. And then he came to the Winter Nationals in Chandler and did the backflip for the first time. And Brian was there. I was there with him. So this is the question. Fact or Freestyle, did Brian Blythe do the first flatland tail whip?
On the foot jam side of it, I had heard that he had, but I don't know for fact because I wasn't there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I've
had you
heard
heard
the
anything?
rumor of that.
Had you heard anything about Jose and his crazy
I never heard of
shenanigans?
Jose other than the backflips. I mean, I know Jose's, but I'm saying, like, back then, I never heard anything about him other than a backflip for the movie Red. That was it.
Got it. And Joe, you had some other information on what else did you hear about? So he was going to do some tour and I don't know, something crazy.
So he's getting money from royalties from the Rad streaming reissue.
Okay.
And he's still butthurt about the tail whip. He knows that Brian has never done a backflip. And
Brian
now
doesn't need to.
this is a vendetta thing. And he's going to do a tail whip on, like, Travis Pastrana's bar spin motorcycle setup. He's going to do a tail whip on that. And he's going to go to all of these sites where Brian supposedly did either big shows or did his tail whip, and he's going to redo all of that on all of Brian's sacred sites, basically, as a means of getting back.
He's mental.
Wait, really? Hold on a second. I didn't know this.
Dave knows that.
I think that's fact. I remember
that. That is fact. That one I know for fact.
The other thing too, Joe, remember when we talked to Pete? Pete said that.
Oh, he did.
He said, well, I don't know what Jose invented.
Yeah. Now, I remember Jose telling me the story of his backflip where he said that he didn't know what to do, so he duct taped a 2x4 to his back so he wouldn't break his back. He was telling me that story at
No, come on now. That's a freestyle.
Wait a second.
I'm telling you, Jose told me this story.
Just so that it didn't bend?
He put a 2x4 that he taped to himself to learn the backflips. When he was learning them, he told me flat out that he duct taped a 2x4 to his back.
But wouldn't that act like a hammer, putting all of that?
I don't do backflips. I don't fucking know.
And if you crash with a 2x4 in your back, what are you thinking? We got to get Jose, because that is we got to verify. I mean, James, I hear
that to me for fact at Old School Reunion. That year we were sitting there with all the books laid out on the table, and he literally sat there and told me that was what had happened.
Okay, well, we'll ask him. That's a good question. So,
because remember remember he was trying front flips that year because he wanted to do a front flip on the bike. He wanted to be And that was that same year.
Okay, here's the next one. You ready for the next one, James?
All right, factOrFreestyle. Joe Johnson had ants in his pants when he invented the vert tail whip.
Yep.
So the next one we heard, and I don't remember. Oh, both of us, you heard this, Joe, and then I had heard it as well. I don't know. We kind of crossed paths on this one. So again, it's a tail whip, but Joe Johnson invented the first tail whip, right?
In the air, yes.
In the air. So
Yes,
somebody said that it was because, and Joe wouldn't admit this, he had
Admit it.
ants in his pants.
What? What? What?
And that they bit him, and that's what
Twisted him around or
he
something.
got the hook.
Oh, come on. That's ridiculous.
Well,
No way.
I don't know. Is it really that ridiculous?
That's insanely ridiculous. You don't put it in the spin cycle because you got a freaking ant in your pants.
okay.
Well, when
Well-
you get bit and then you twitch, yeah? No?
Yeah, but he had been working on it. It wasn't like he wasn't trying it.
No, I don't think he
I just
intentionally put ants in his
accidentally didn't
pants.
kill it.
No, he didn't.
Joe-
Right, he didn't intentionally put ants in his pants. That would be ridiculous.
It
No, I'm
just
saying,
happened.
but where was it that he pulled the first one? Was it Camellia Ramp or where?
No, it was in this warehouse when he and DMC had like a day off, some show.
Inside of a warehouse on top of the ramps, there was an ant infestation strong
No,
enough that
no. It wasn't on top of the ramp. Like they were on tour and their clothes weren't washed, and I don't know, like soda or whatever got dumped in there, and it was stinky.
That seems like freestyle, Joe. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, that's not real.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think.
All right.
What
I
about
think,
Diz Hicks? What about the Diz Hicks getting?
Yes, I know that is true.
That is true.
This is
Wait a
wrong.
second. Wait, hold on a second. Wait, hold on a second. I thought it was Magoo who paid large rate.
No. It was Diz Hicks.
Really?
And then,
So Diz Hicks didn't bring this up on the Kip show,
well, that's not something you want to bring up.
but that's something other people want to bring up, which is why we're here.
He was rock and roll, dude.
Okay, Joe. What's the third one? What's the third one that we need to ask James?
Fact or freestyle? DMC was intimidated by Pete in 1985 during warm-up and ghosted before qualifiers.
It was 1985. It was a contest where Dave went road pro for the first time.
Right.
Pete was AM. No, wait. Pete was pro. Dennis was AM. He shows up.
No,
and
Pete was amateur as well. Pete was 17 expert.
Which
Okay,
Pete?
Pete was
Augustin.
Augustin.
Okay.
And so the story goes that DMC drove there and he shows up and they're all bullshitting. And Pete goes, check this out. And he rolls like the Pete handstand. And it intimidated DMC so much that he didn't even enter. He drove all the way there. He didn't even enter.
Because he's not even on the listing. If you look under 23 Mag online, that contest has all the results. Pete Augustin got first. Fred Budd got second. I don't know who else was in that heat, but Dennis wasn't even on the list.
That's crazy. Dennis did have a tendency to leave contests.
Yeah.
That happened numerous times. Like the night in Kansas, or not Kansas, in it was LA when they had the big thing, and he like 50-50 the hotel lobby thing, and then the police came, and then he went home.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on a second. The police chased him away. That's a little different. Does that count as leaving contest?
Well, no, but I'm saying like there were times where he left, but I mean, he was a competitor. I can't imagine he wouldn't want to ride, but if he's not on the list, he's not on the list.
Yeah, why isn't he on the results list? That's what we don't understand. That's how I think
See, him and Rick Thorne back then were like so punk rock, dude. They took everything so fucking serious.
We need to call Rick Thorne, Joe. That's who we need to get on.
Yeah.
Rick would know.
That's who he was always with, was Rick.
Yeah, and Joe, I had a little bit different version. So basically, when Pete found out that I was pro, he saw Dennis and it's like, oh man, well, I guess you got to know who you got to compete against. And Pete, in his aggro way, like he did a 540 tailspin, so a 540 spin in the cherry picker.
That was the other thing.
So he's on the pedal, and then he spins into a cherry picker, and he's like hopping and going like, check it out. And then he does that big rolling handstand. And I don't remember Dennis being intimidated anyway, because he's a competitor. But it's just weird that he's not on the result list. So I don't really know.
Yeah, I can't imagine Dennis backing down from a fight and right. I just don't see that.
Yeah.
He was a baller back then, dude. He was so fucking good. He was on top of it.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
Those
guys.
handstands though with Augustin were pretty amazing though. He's scorpion. Him and Rick Allison's scorpion handstands were insane too, dude.
Oh yeah.
And Goro Tamaya, those guys. But yeah, Pete was definitely like the first guy to really make a scary picture of it.
Yeah.
Those were good times back then.
So here's another one, James.
Fact or freestyle? Dean Palacio invented what's known as the Nourie handstand.
You know the name Dean Palacio, right?
Darren?
Dean.
Or okay.
So he's from San Diego.
Okay.
And
yeah.
so rumor has it that he actually, similar scenario with the RL and the backwards ride, where he was in novice, the same class that I was. And this was in 1984 at Huntington Beach. And he went out there and did an Nourie handstand. And there's rumors out there that I've been riding on his coattails all these years. Similar to Fred Blood riding on his coattails for doing the decade, because Dean Palacio actually did the decade.
He's the one who did the decade. That's why I know the name. Yeah.
Well, apparently now the truth is coming out. So it's almost like I don't know how to make good with it. I tried to call him today. I couldn't get a hold of him. But basically, he did the trick before I did it in my run. And I know we rode together down at the beach and whatnot, but I kind of feel like I have to make amends with him now.
Have you heard this?
That's insane. That's not even right.
I mean, we have to rewrite the whole history book.
That's insanity. I can't imagine that.
Well, he did it, and I was bummed. I'm like, what? I was getting ready for my run. I was trying not to watch the riders because I was so nervous. My first contest, I'm just this little kid, you know, from Mission Beach. Like, I don't know, what am I doing here? I wasn't so sure of myself, and I went out there, and I saw one guy, Dean, and I was like, what? Oh, my gosh, he's doing my trick. Oh, and I was so bummed. And now it's coming around. Like, maybe he actually invented it before I did. Maybe.
That's so hard to say, though, because there's so many tricks like that.
I'm just saying, I kind of feel like, I mean, I really worked that trick. Like I'm still working that trick, the Nourie handstand. I mean, I'm still teaching kids how to do it. So
yeah, but you're Dave Nourie. It's your trick.
I don't know. I have to make that call someday. Joe, we got to get Dean on the show.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make them look. So what happens if suddenly you're doing that trick, but then you tag it with a very different name? Like, would anyone? There are a lot of people out there who would have a very hard time altering history.
I can't
around
alter
that trick.
I couldn't alter that.
Well, you know, maybe I just have to pay him all the royalties that I've gotten over the years.
Maybe Robert Peterson did it first. I mean, he was the master of balance.
No, you know how it got, okay, but Joe, let me just chime in on that, because how that came about, the Nourie handstand, was Peterson showed me, he had a front brake, and he showed me the Peterson. I'm like, oh, that's really cool, but I don't have a front brake. So I reached down and grabbed the tire to take my feet off, and it looks goofy as hell. So I'm like, screw that. And that's how I eventually kicked my legs further and further up, and that's how I made up the Nourie handstand.
So you made it up as well simultaneously then? As
Peterson or as Dean?
No, you made as Dean.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I have to find out. I don't know if he just did the trick after seeing me or if he actually made it up. You know, we did it in the same contest, 1984 at Huntington Beach, and he did it before. So that's kind of what Joe and I were talking about. How does that go? Like if someone does it in a contest first, like Mike Dominguez did 900 apparently on his half pipe, but Matt Hoffman was the first one to do it in a contest. So how does that actually go in history?
It doesn't matter. Does it really matter?
No.
We were all back then. We were all pushing so hard to have stuff. So
that's classic.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you're just like, there's a lot of people who invented tricks at the same time, and the concepts were coming around. You go to the AFA, and you know this, Dave, there'd be 100 people sessioning, and you just see the craziest shit, and you know, and then you'd bail out and go home and start trying, and you'd fall into new ideas. Like I learned tricks at the contest that I did in my run.
Really?
You know, like it was insane back then.
But I think just think about, there's a lot of people that are into that, James. Maybe it's not ours. I think we're going off on a little tangent, because that's going to be another whole show, James, that we can.
I can't take it. Damn it, it's driving me nuts.
Bitches and gripes, I guess.
All right, let's wrap this. This is awesome, guys.
Yeah, thanks. And we gotta do a lot of editing with James's comments, because we can't be, you know, we don't want too many haters out there.
I don't want to be